Hello and welcome back to West Navsbury, or indeed, if you are a new subscriber, welcome. Great to have quite a few more people now following the channel. So this episode, I'm going to pick up where we left off at the end of the previous episode, where I'd been laying the track, and I'm going to look at how the track is actually powered, followed up with a update for March. Okay, so following on from the previous episode, I'd settled on a track plan, and within that there were a series of operations I'd like to run, and from that I determined that I needed quite a number of power feeds to the track. Now, just to put this in context, all of my locos and rolling stock are DC. They're not DCC. I've no money or aspiration to update them in the near future, but what I did want to do was preserve some degree of flexibility in running the layout. Okay, so back to the track plan. Here you can see all of the various power feeds identified, and there's a key at the bottom here. So UM, for example, means up main, up loop, down main, etc. Each one fed 12 volts DC through these Pico track joiners. I decided upon these because they're ready soldered by people who know how to solder, and you know, why do something badly if somebody else can do it well for you? Each one, as mentioned, has a code. They then feed to these terminal blocks, and then are wired underneath the railway baseboards to a control panel, which has a switch mounted on it, simply to energize or isolate that section of track. The control panel itself is actually really basic. It's just a piece of wood mounted to this frame. It is now a lot more complicated than in these pictures, because I've added at least 3 rows of switches, and then ultimately the 3 rows you can see there are all now fully instated, but on the right hand side will be switches for points, signals, etc. in due course. But I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out so far. It's been pretty reliable, and for someone who has little to no electronics experience, it works, and that's the main thing, and it's logical and easy enough for me to understand and maintain in the future. Okay, well, on to the March update, and actually I have a few more items than I ordinarily have to share this time round. Firstly, the independent line has been laid, which you can see here in this shot. 2 Class 47 locomotives there are standing on the independent line, and you can see where it feeds back onto the down line. As you can see from the track diagram there, it gives me the opportunity to serve platforms 1 through 3, but also to run trains into platform 3 in the down direction. Here you can see a Class 37 on a Speedlink service, being one of the first trains to traverse the freshly laid piece of track. The other main bit of progress I've made has been around the station area, where I've added these platform ramps and also the stone capping at the edges of the platforms, followed by a little bit of the white line that goes along the edge, and just planning really roughly how I'm going to add the surface of the platform afterwards. And finally, these platform buildings. I've been searching for a while really for a solution, realizing that I either need to scratch build or modify an existing product for my station buildings. I've come across these 2 old Triang station buildings, which I've begun to have a sort of quick paint of and see if I can actually weather them up and make them look half decent, as there's no off-the-shelf product which I've been able to discover that I can use. So as ever, going to finish off with a quick running session. After all, that's what we want to do, is watch the trains go round, right? So here you can see Class 33 on the up line, heading towards London with their Network South East service, while I run a Class 150 Sprinter on the newly installed independent line, also heading in the up direction. Here we've got a Class 37 heading the Speedlink service, not particularly quickly, through platform 3, heading in the down direction. And finally Class 31 dragging a couple of dead Class 47s behind it, while the 158 heads towards London. Oh, last one, of course, the esteemed assistant, who was remarkably excited to see a Class 47 heading across country service through Platform 3.